Well, if you use Cox for TV or internet, you're about to see some changes. Charter Communications has completed its acquisition of the company. With the deal, services will be rebranded from Cox to Spectrum. Current customers don't have to take any action, and Charter says for now, everything else is staying the same, including equipment and pricing. Starting next month, Spectrum plans to roll out its own plan options across former Cox markets.